Hey everybody, it's Alex. I'm officially unemployed. I put my notice in at my serving job at Egypt Valley last week, so I'm going to give this another go full time. It's been 2 or 3 years since this is what I was doing full time. In the past, this is all I did, was real estate. This is my only job. In the past, in high school, I mowed lawns or did photography, and then eventually did real estate. So I never really had a job, right? In high school, I had a job at a warehouse to get me out of school earlier through a co-op program. But after that, it was only working for myself and doing my own businesses and stuff like that. Then a couple years ago, I had to take on some jobs. I did serving at multiple restaurants, and then I went and mowed lawns and did winter work for a few years. The past few months here, maybe 6 months, I was able to leave the mowing job, but I kept a night job serving at Egypt Valley Country Club. But I've gotten to the point where things are starting to pick up here, and I put in notice that it's time to wrap that up, and I'm going to give this a go full time. So I'm officially unemployed, I'm officially self-employed, and I'm officially going to give this a go and see if more time spent at this is going to help. So kind of taking a risk here, but it's exciting. It's definitely more fun when you're all in at something and you get to spend your whole day working on something like this. So I'm really excited that in the afternoons this week, I don't have to stop by 3 o'clock and go serve. And it'll be interesting to see how much more time I can put into it. And I've got that much more time for marketing and prospecting. So that's what I want to talk about today, is my marketing and prospecting, what I'm doing, and just give you some numbers behind the results I've had from that. So over the past month or so going locally, I've cold called a lot of lists that I had from the past. I've pulled some new lists from Aria Automator, and then I've also driven around town and looked for properties that way as well. So the cold calling, I'll go through some of the numbers of what that looks like, and I've sent some texts as well. I'm getting a lot of replies from the text, just no lead from texting yet. So my plan is cold call, text, and then mail to a super clean list, everybody you weren't able to get in touch with. So cold calling, the numbers there, I'll go through those a little bit. I've called some old Rockford and Ada lists, anything on my old stuff I had, and anything new that I've found or have pulled through Aria Automator. I'll cold call them, and it's about every 10 numbers that I dial, I have a solid conversation with the right property owner. They could say no, they could say whatever, but every about 100 people I call, I get to talk to about 10 people. For example, this last list that I called was all Northeast Grand Rapids, Rockford, Ada, 49505, 49525, and those surrounding areas. It was a list of about 700 people, and I ended up talking to 75 people from those efforts. Out of that, I was able to pull 10 leads. So maybe every 700 people you call, 70 will pick up, and then maybe 7 of those could become leads, right? So it's about a 10% success rate is what I'm having with that. So every 1,000 people I call, I should be able to talk to 100 people, and hopefully from that, I can get 10 leads from cold calling. So it still works. It's definitely hard. You have a lot of hard conversations, and people are pissed off at you for calling, but it still works. A lot of these leads can be cold leads. But as soon as I get somebody interested on the phone, I try to go for an appointment to go meet them and learn about their property, learn about their situation, and see if we can help. So cold calling still works. I think 10% is proven to be what the number is. 10% of the people you call will pick up, and you can talk to them and ask them if a cash offer might be the right option. For texting, I've sent out a lot of texts, but I haven't got any leads from it. So yesterday I sent out about 300 texts. I had about 20 people reply. So that's also about 10% of cold text, just a short message about, hey, I'm local. Just want to see if you might be interested in an offer. Of those 20 replies, I didn't have any leads. So I'm going to mail that list at this point. So we cold called it, we texted it, and we're going to mail it. I'd love to make a video sometime about mail and give you guys some insight there. But I just wanted to give you some encouragement that cold calling is very tough, but it still works. There's been a few solid leads that have come from cold calling. Nothing from texting yet, but I'll keep you updated. But yeah, it's a good character building activity. I would rather just mail the whole list or get leads from pay-per-click or Google or Facebook, right? That'd be a lot easier if people are calling me. but I think this has been a good practice to build up the character a little bit and just grind it out, right? So cold calling, making the efforts day after day is definitely a positive thing. It's a good action to be taken, and sometimes when I'm calling, other things just come in. Get good news about a different transaction, or get good news about something else going on in the business. So the fact that I'm out there grinding and making the calls, doing the efforts, other things can just pop up because of that. It's pretty cool. So just want to encourage you guys to do the stuff that is hard and do the stuff that works. It may seem like the hardest thing ever, but it will work. And if you continue to put in the action, it does get easier. Cold calling doesn't get any more fun for me than it ever has been, but it does get easier to make that next call. All right, appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know what you're cold calling or how your marketing has been to real estate stuff or whatever industry you're in. Would love to hear what's working for you and what's not working, what's the hardest, what's the easiest, and keep me updated. All right, next thing I'm going to get into is some direct mail. Got to go through my old systems to see how I did that for the best results. We basically only had a 1% return rate on mail. So every 100 people we mailed, we only got one call. So I'm going to see if I can dial that in a little better and get some leads from that. But yeah, now that there's no job, no income coming in, except hopefully through this business, it's time to stay on the marketing. All right, you guys got this. Thanks for watching. Reach out with any questions. Happy to help you. Happy to send you my scripts. Happy to send you the mail I use. Anything you need, reach out, guys. All right, keep grinding. You got this. God bless.